Yo, hey, hope you're doing great, my people. Today I'm gonna be reacting to Jose Feliciano Malagueña. This is from a video from 1982, and this is a song suggestion by Jesse Caldwell. So Jesse Caldwell has been introducing me a lot to classical stuff, and also, Chet Atkins playing nylon string guitar, which I think that it was super interesting to see. Obviously, I had the misconception that he used to just play steel string guitar, which probably he does, but because I have other videos from him, but he does have a lot of stuff with nylon string, and it's such an interesting way that a guitarist that is not classical playing in the nylon string, in the end it turned out to be classical. How do you define classical guitar? It's an interesting question, right? Everything had to do with, obviously with melody, playing melody and bass at the same time, but also having form and all this stuff. It's a very unclear, answer. But yeah, from what I see from Chet Atkins, all of the you can obviously play that in classical guitar, and again having the bass and melody and the harmonization, those things can define classical guitar. But there's a lot of nylon string guitar that they don't treat themselves as a classical guitar, and then they play a lot of bass melody. For example, Yamando Costa, he doesn't say that he's a classical guitarist or flamenco or jazz, but he will play a lot of things that it's like classical with all these aspects. He's just a nylon string guitarist, acoustic guitarist, amazing, one of the best in the world. And Asher Atkins in this position is like that. And why did I come with that? Because it was very interesting. And Jesse, thank you so much for suggesting that. It does open my mind a little bit more. But now we have the great Jose Feliciano. So Jose Feliciano, he is, he's a Puerto Rican. I'm super proud of everything that he has done for us and for everyone, right? And he's someone that I admire a lot. He's blind, right? But still, he make amazing music. He makes some Feliz Navidad. That's from Jose Feliciano, and everyone love Feliz Navidad. And he also, I think that in the past I have seen videos on him playing Bumblebee. He plays his own way, but he's a blind person, and even that, there's no limitation for people. It's just a beautiful story that Jose Feliciano have. So yeah, again, I'm very happy to do this. I haven't seen this Malagueña from Jose Feliciano. Of course, I had done the Malagueña from Roy Clark. But it should be so interesting to see what Jose Feliciano got. But yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, and I love to react to Jose Feliciano. Super proud of what he have represented for us. But yeah, so Jesse, thank you so much for this suggestion. I'm gonna begin to do it. I'm gonna react to this as a classical guitarist. The way that I do it, I will let the video play for the entirety, right? For the whole thing. I don't like to stop the videos. I love to enjoy the video, and there you're gonna see my reaction. So that the first round is my reaction. I may say some things, whatever. That's my reaction. Then the second time, I will do an analysis. Once the video finish, I will give you my first impressions, things that caught my attention the most, and then I can come back to the beginning of the video and then do play and stop and tell you things that I like, right? I will try to give you my analysis as best as I can, right? A lot of things is not that different than what you think, but I can try to go with theory and history and whatever, right? So let's do it. We're recording, right? Yes, we are, because we don't want to make the mistake to make a reaction and not recording. It happens. It happens in the past, so let's do it. Okay. Finger up. A finger, man. Just a performer. Amazing. doing restroke. Oof. Gee. No, classical there. Jeez, that was a really good video, man. Whew. That was a really good video. Jose Feliciano, the maestro, yeah. So, obviously, well, first of all, just being blind and doing everything he's doing. Again, not saying that, you have the two hands, of course. If, for example, when you play guitar and you know something really well and you close your eyes, you kind of know where you go, right? But it's just the fact that, you had to learn with some limitation, and I still doing an amazing, incredible job. It's such a thing, beautiful to admire, right? He is just an amazing performer. And when I say this is that, some performers, they just play, they have that natural, like, they can play and you feel that they're just the instrument. It's just some performers, some artists, they can play and they're natural. They have the talent of playing amazing guitar. They're natural players. And, those natural players, if they practice and everything, obviously he practiced, right? But it comes everything super easy for them. And no, that's wrong. It look that it come easy, but obviously it's very difficult stuff. But what I want to say is that it's just that he's an amazing performer, and you can see that everything that he's doing, it come a little bit easier for him. Again, obviously he probably had to practice, and again his limitations, and but what I want to say is that when you see someone playing and it look easy, it means that they have the music so well into them. And in his case, probably he had to prepare so much, he had to practice so much that everything is just right there for him. And that's a beautiful thing. As a performer, that's what I want to get, right? I want to play my music, and when I present it, I want it to come as easy as I can, right? That way people can enjoy it, and also you can enjoy it, right? And now, like I say, in this case, for Jose Feliciano, his music is coming so easy, right? But, and people just get drawn to it because, he looks so secure and everything. But again, that doesn't mean that it's not easy. It's difficult. It's just that, probably the work that he has to done, it helped him to be where he at this video. Don't confuse when I say easy with the music is easy. No, obviously it's difficult, but he had to practice so much, and that's something that I admire, that he's blind, he gave you here a show that is just incredible, right? Now, as a guitarist, Jose Feliciano, for example, you can say this is maybe something that a classical guitarist can do, right? But in his case, because of being blind and everything, probably he didn't learn looking at someone. I'm not sure how he learned to play guitar. Probably he learned guitar by himself. And when you see his technique, there's some things that are a little bit different for classical guitar. For example, his hand. So if we check, right? Let me see. No, let's come back. For example, the way that the guitar is, actually, it's not that bad, actually. And then you see the thumb playing to the side. Actually, this is really good. If you have a good posture, maybe the guitar needs to be a little bit more higher. But probably that helps you play, and everything looks super secure. And not all classical guitar, they have the same posture. I have seen a lot of posture. This looked really good. And again, he looked very confident, super secure. Everything looked relaxed. That's the thing, that everything needs to look very relaxed. Also, he has fingers. He can play super fast. Also, he's showing here some ligado, stuff here. Like, whatever. I mean, his left-hand technique can be, but again, he's Jose Feliciano. Some artists, they just learn how to play in whatever way they were, and they look secure, confident, and it looked like there's no pain. So I think that it will be fine. But yeah, very impressive stuff. And again, big admiration, and I love this video. So I'm gonna go to the beginning to the video a little bit, right? So I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna add a lot, but a little bit of the video and talk a little more analysis in the video per se. But those are my first impressions, my first thought after watching the video. Of course, I get super proud, and also he's doing an amazing job, and he said doing everything fingerstyle with fingers. That's the most impressive thing, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, so in other words, yeah, he does have fingers. And sometimes you can hear some mistakes, but who cares? Because he's doing such an amazing, incredible job that you heard those mistakes and you forgot about them in the end, because again, mistakes are part of what it is. Playing guitar is really difficult. Guitar is a difficult instrument. And you know what? We're humans, and we need to get used to listen to mistakes. Why we do always have to be thinking about how perfect the music can be, when in reality we're just humans. And in this case, he made some mistakes. Did you notice? Probably no, because he didn't care. And that's what it should be all about, right? That's what I want to get. What a start, right? What an intro. Like, it's just a pure finger. I cannot do that, actually. All without looking. Of course, if you know everything, you don't need to look, but it's just a limitation that probably can be a huge thing for other people. Such a with the bending, and it was he have fingers, Okay, so that's a little very side of, I don't know what type of music is that, but very it's like a surprise a little bit. He's doing crosses string. That's very difficult. So normally when you're gonna do playing the first and the second string, you try to have the M finger, the middle finger, up with the first string, and then the index in the second string. Well, he did it contrary. That's kind of crazy, I would say. Now look at that. You see? So he, instead of doing the index in the second string, he's doing the middle finger in the second string. So he's doing cross string, all that section, and that's a really interesting thing to do. It's more difficult than doing the way that I say. Oof, that's an interesting chord over there with suspensions. It's not tremolo. Tucataca is like triplets. It feels a little bit something like Concerto Aranjuez. The guitar, something of the guitar. How do you call this? The middle part of the guitar solo of the Concerto Aranjuez. Decadenza. Decadenza, I would say. Then we have the slurs showing here. Okay. I mean, again, you know, obviously that is not easy to do. Obviously, your hand gets very tired because of doing slurs. You require some extra muscles there. Yeah, Jose Feliciano have fingers, man. Super fast, you know. He is a really amazing guitar player. Super impressive, I have to say. Yeah, and you know, if this part, what he's doing here, normally when people do it, playing the bass and the guitar, pam pam pam, normally people do thumb and the finger here, free stroke, which means that when you play the string, doesn't rest in the next string, like it's just in the air. That way you can do that fast. But he's doing rest stroke, like when he play the finger, he's resting the next string, and that tends to be kind of more difficult. Also, he's in guitar position, classical guitar position, but the guitar is a little bit more bigger. So, yeah. That's why you see that his arm is kind of like hugging the guitar. That was so. This is so interesting. I don't know why he does. In other words, he playing melody, part of the melody, tuning the guitar. Such a interesting thing to do. Oh, that's with a chord with suspension from nowhere. Beautiful stuff. But a little bit of jazzy to put there. We went to some classical. I don't know what it's a sword or something like that, but we went to some classical guitar stuff there. Yeah, so that probably is like a sword or something like that. mean, he have a nice rasgueado too, so very flamenco. He can do the rasgueado with the fingers. I cannot do them with the fingers. Good stuff. This is really good. Jesse, thank you so much for suggesting this. Yeah, I love, reacting to Jose Feliciano playing Malagueña. Oof, amazing stuff. I really enjoy this. Love Jose Feliciano. And I haven't heard, I say I love Jose Feliciano, but I haven't heard a lot of music from Jose Feliciano. Of course, I grew up people talking about him. We Puerto Ricans love talking about Jose Feliciano. Obviously, because he is an icon. And for us Puerto Ricans, he is such a proud, we're very proud of him. I am. I don't know if you are, but I am. And I grew up people talking about him. And, it's just I'm so admirable. I'm so, inspiration. It's very inspirational. So thank you, Jesse. Thank you so much. And yeah, let me know in your comment what you think. Give me suggestions. All this stuff. Yeah, there's gonna be a moment that I'm gonna be able to do. Right now, I'm focusing on Patreon suggestions, but hopefully, I'm gonna be able to go to my list on the comments. Obviously, I want to do it. Doing it random from comment is very, very difficult in the sense that I want it to be super random. I don't want to go and say, but I need to find a way to do it. So, thank you so much. See you in the next one. Take care.